Welcome to Stoughton Media Access Corporation's Community Forum Show. Today's guest is Joe Mokrisky. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Joe is a selectman now currently in your
Yes.
15th year as a selectman for the town.
Yes.
And you've decided to give up your seat or to not run for re-election, and instead you'd like to run for moderator.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the genesis and how that change in your life has occurred.
Well, as you know, I mean, I first was elected to the Board of Selectmen in 1992. A lot of things have happened since then. My youngest son was born 2 months before I was elected. Well, that son that was born in 1992 was recently given the opportunity to serve in the Stoughton Police Department. And as my son, you know, as a dad, I know you can appreciate, you know, I'm so proud of my son. We're very close, and he wanted to serve his hometown. When he talked about law enforcement, and I said, why wouldn't you look at something else and so forth? And he said, Dad, I just want to be a Stoughton police officer. So with that, you know, Stoughton being Stoughton, and we don't need to get into the details, I don't want to be in my son's way as a selectman. If he decides to take a promotional exam, or if he rises through the ranks, and I hope maybe he becomes chief, you know,
Okay.
I don't want to have my being a selectman in his way. And if he takes a sergeant's exam or a promotional exam, it's going to be in Stoughton. It'll be, of course, your father's a selectman. Of course you pass the exam.
Yeah.
He is a smart, brilliant young man. He's in the National Guard, or the Army Reserve's National Guard as an MP. He has held one of the top PT scores in his unit. He's been chosen to represent his unit at the Congressional Medal of Honor dinner, you know, on behalf of his unit. And he's got a career ahead of him. And I just don't want to be in that way. As well as as a selectman, when you have a family member in town government, you can't act on certain things. I can't speak on the police budget. I can't appoint a police chief, which is an appointment of the Board of Selectmen. I can't hire or fire a town manager, which is an appointment of the Board of Selectmen. So I can't serve the resident Steve in a full capacity. It's better to put somebody in there that can do everything. You know, when you elect a selectman to represent you on all the issues, not have a checklist of what you can and can't vote on. This is good for my son's future. It's good for the people of Stoughton. And I've seen, like a lot of people, town meeting change over the years. And I think it's time for a change. And I would say this isn't a personal issue. I admire Howie Hansen. He loves his town. So do I. And I've watched good people walk away from town meeting that were dedicated to it because of the process. And it takes more to be a moderator than just to run the meeting. It's preparing for the meeting. It's empowering the town meeting members, you know, so they know more and can make an informed vote. And that's what I think we need a ton of improvement on. And I'm ready on the first day as moderator to implement some actions that people will see and will be beneficial. Never mind the point that, you know, to be a moderator, and I've run many, many meetings as a selectman and as the chairman of the Redevelopment Authority. As a member of the Finance Committee, I wasn't chair, but I was part of meetings. And I know the importance of keeping a meeting moving. Town meeting representatives need information. If they don't have the information, it slows the process. The moderator needs to know and have the, you know, it's tough decisions, but you have to be able to rule a person out of order if they're not adding something new to the conversation. We've got to stop people, and we have it at town meeting, and it's been there since I first got involved with the 80s. The same people get up and say the same things over and over and over. Or they feel it's their responsibility to refute a previous speaker. Well, the whole idea is to keep an issue moving forward. And I feel that we don't do a good job of that. We spend more time at town meeting arguing about the details, the lack of preparation for town meeting, the lack of presentations, the lack of information. If we fix all that, we don't need to continue to talk about changing our form of government. I've heard a lot of that. And there's only 3 municipalities, I believe, in roughly the last 16 years out of 351 cities and towns that have changed their form of government, you know, to a council or a mayor. But it still has never been one that there's not representatives of the town involved. So I think that we got to keep town meeting, we just got to make it work more efficiently, and we have to hold the paid officials accountable for when they bring articles to town meeting to make sure they're prepared. You know, and we don't have to table them, we don't have to do last-minute motions on the floor to amend. If you go into a prepared, town meeting should be done in 4 nights. We should be able to get out of there in a week, maybe a week and a day at tops, and that would be my goal. I want to make it efficient, I want people to have a voice. Town meeting is the last line of defense in losing your government. The average person gets up and speaks. Truck drivers, doctors, lawyers, homemakers, students, you know, that is the best thing in the world. When you can come up in a room and vote on how your budget is spent. I mean, we've got to make it better. I just don't support throwing it out. That's why I decided to throw my hat in the ring and see what I can do to make a difference.
So could you tell us in just how would you define the moderator's role? Just sort of, you know, sort of a general opinion. What should a moderator do?
Well, in our form of government, if we want to relate to things, the Board of Selectmen are the highest executive authority in the town under the terms of the Town Charter. And it says the highest executive authority. The Board of Selectmen serve as the governors, if you will, of the town of Stoughton. And town meeting is the legislative branch. That's the House and the Senate. So we'll take the lesser of the two and say that, you know, we'll go with, because there's, you know, 160 members, you know, we'll say that it's equal to the legislature, the House of Representatives. The moderator is the Speaker of the House. So the Speaker of the House, when legislation is brought through, in their case it's legislation, in our case it's an article to put new school windows in, or a new heating system in an older school, or to buy a new high school, you know, and build a new high school, which is a great vote that was taken. The information needs to be equal for all the people in the room. Now, we have activists, you know, some people call them the shadow government, some call them, you know, they pick a street name and they say you know, the Main Street Mafia, you know, and they all have little names, but it's the same thing as how House of Representatives in Congress and in the town of Stoughton with town meeting, people are friendly. There's little groups and cliques in there. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're all Stoughton residents coming to make a difference for their community. You got to look past those cliques. You got to look at the issue when it comes forward. You have to pick people that are going to keep an article moving, keep it informative, and get it voted. But again, it comes with the preparation. On my first day as moderator, after the election, I will be reaching out to the town's attorney, the town clerk's office, the town manager's office, and the superintendent of the school's office, and we're going to have a meeting. And we're going to sit around the conference table, and we're going to go through every single article that's going to be presented for town meeting. And I'm going to be asking them who's presenting the article. Is the wording of the article accurate? I'm going to have the attorney in the clerk's office so that we don't have, well, this, you know, it says the instead of the. You know, I mean, it's crazy some of the things that slow town meeting down. And you're wasting town meeting reps' times. You know, they're sitting there and, you know, then you hear we need a 5-minute recess for this, or somebody challenges the wording. The moderator will declare the vote, you know, the article as proper for presentation, as from the meeting with legal counsel in the clerk's office. And this article in its wording is moving forward. Now, if you want to make a motion, fine. If you want to change it, but it's ready to be presented. Then I'm going to make sure that if you're in charge of the school budget, I'm going to say, Mr. Kelly, please come forward and present the school budget. You're going to give you a little 5-minute opening statement of, you know, the increases and what they reflect and why they're there, or decreases and so forth. And then town meeting can now vote on the issue. They can ask questions. And I'm not going to ask them, let people get up and, again, state their political statements, because there are people that do that at the Board of Selectmen. They use the citizens' comments as an opportunity to rebut issues from a previous meeting, or call out individual selectmen for doing something or not doing something, and they stand there and say, well, I'm waiting for an answer. I started citizens' comments when I was chairman of the Board of Selectmen years ago, and it was put in effect to give residents the opportunity to come before the Board of Selectmen and bring something to the board's attention, or ask for an appointment with somebody, because it's something that can't wait until the next scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen, which could be 2 to 3 weeks or maybe a month. And now there are people that make announcements, and they're all good things, but again, it doesn't keep the meeting moving. Is that we've had people say, well, the Boy Scout group did this, and these are people from the audience, or I didn't like the vote you took. Well, that's not the idea of it, and you slow the process down. If you want to complain about something, there's definitely come in here, get your name on the agenda. You have a right to be seen before the Board of Selectmen and heard. You can say whatever you want to say, But again, that's what slows the process of a meeting down. And I've had a problem with that. So the whole idea is to keep this train moving down the tracks.
Okay.
You know, and to maximize everybody's time. There are people you know, Steve, and I know, that have come to me and said, you know, I just can't put myself through that anymore. It's crazy. And since I've decided to run, I've been just honored by some of the people that have come to me and said, if you get elected, I'll come back. You know,
Talk to me a little bit about term and pay.
Term and pay, the moderator's appointment, I believe it's a $5,000 stipend. And to me, that's not a paycheck to me. I would use it for doing the job. You know, I would want to go to some trainings and things like that, but there is a stipend of $5,000. From what I understand, the stipend precludes you from getting town insurance or anything like that. And I know that was an issue in the past. The term is 1 year. So I was actually at the candidates forum that was held at Town Hall a few weeks back, and there was a gentleman that I grew up with, and I like the man, but he doesn't really agree with me on much. And but what we did agree on is that town meeting needs to be fixed, and you need somebody that has the experience, which I sure as heck have the experience, and have the guts to make the tough decisions to represent town meeting representatives the way that they should be. It's a 1 year term. I said to this gentleman, I said, give me 1 year. Vote for me for 1 year. If you don't see some change this year, don't vote me in next year. It's that simple. I've always believed that the moderator's appointment should be reflective of the other elected officials in town and be a 3 year term. Because it's not fair to any, you know, and even the election cycles, you know, you go and you work towards a budget from December into April. And if you don't win in April, you can't present that budget. A new member coming in, really, and if you don't have the experience, coming in with moderator, if you don't have the budgetary experience and you don't have the experience of town meeting, and know, I mean, let's face it, you know the people you don't want getting up, you know, at the beginning because they're just going to slow things down. You've got to control that debate, and it's got to be balanced. So, you know, the moderator now, I think, does a fair job of trying to recognize people, but sometimes you have 7 people get up in a row that are negative. To me, it should be a balanced debate, and you should almost know the makeup of your group so that if you have somebody talk negative, you want somebody to talk positive. And that's it, negative. I would look at the possibility of a negative, a pro and con microphone at town meeting. Sit them down in front. If you're against the article, you line up over here. If you're for the article, you line up here. So that then everybody, we can keep the debate balanced. And every issue that comes before town meeting, it's not like a wish list. People put signatures or they come to the Board of Selectmen and they argue their piece and it goes to town meeting. When it gets there, the issue should stand on itself and not from the people that are supporting it. And they call friends and they do this and it's Stoughton. We politic in Stoughton. Stoughton it's blue collar, brass knuckles, hardcore politics in Stoughton. I once said to Congressman Lynch, there's only one area I'll take a back seat to when it comes to hardcore politics, it's South Boston. They know politics, but we're right on their tail.
All right, so talk to me about Robert's Rules of Order versus what is, I think, called the parliamentary rules or
Yeah, town meeting times.
town meeting
and-
times,
yeah,
I guess it is,
exactly.
yes. So talk to me about how those tools are at your disposal and what would you do, how would you approach the job?
There's areas that I like of both town meeting times and Robert's Rules, and there's areas I don't like. But the people don't realize the ultimate power of a moderator in running town meeting. And I'll be honest with you, Steve, I'm going to take what I like from both of them. I'm going to always do what's legal, and I'll confer with town council, and I will be involved. And let's face it, I've been a selectman, you know, first elected in '92, and now it's, you know, I can't believe I'm dating myself and saying we're going into 2017. But you know, I love it. I love serving the town. I know that I've had somebody say, "Oh, you're a retread. You're a retread. You're one of
kind
the
of an
old
awful
guys."
thing to say, isn't it?
And well, you people, if that's the worst that's said to me in Stoughton, I'm good because believe me, worse things have been said.
Thick-skinned, huh?
Oh, you have to be. You know, like a duck. You know, let the water roll right off the back. But this is what I love doing. I love serving the community. I love coming up with ideas, making a difference. And have I made mistakes? Sure, I have. You know, I've had people criticize me that I've missed meetings. I have. Without a doubt, I've missed meetings. I've missed selectmen's meetings. When I was chairman, I missed some meetings. As town meeting member, I missed almost an entire town meeting season because of work. But the thing is, you know, if you measure a candidacy and this is the way I look at it, and there'll be people that will differ with me without a doubt, that I've been an elected official for 18 years. If I missed 50 meetings over 18 years, I'm going to argue that's a pretty good record, right? It all depends which way you want to sell it. If you don't have any ideas on how you're going to make a difference, you're going to play on the negative. You're going to bring that up. But I'm not going to talk about anybody's problems. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do as a moderator, because the same thing in the selectmen's race. You talk about what you're going to bring to the table. The selectmen, you're one of 5, so you better be able to get along with people. You know, and at times that can be very difficult when you have strong opinions like we do on this board now. But town meeting it's the core values of life, to treat people the way you want to be treated. It's bigger than me. Town meeting is not going, if I were to drop dead right here, I'm sorry, some of my friends, I'm not going to drop dead right now. But if I were, this process goes on without me. I just become a name on a plaque from 10 to 15, 20 years ago. It's what we do every day to make a difference. And every day that I wake up as a selectman, and I know that there are people that would vote me out tomorrow, and if I said I wanted to move to Florida, they'd pay the expenses to go there. But the thing is, that's what makes our form of government beautiful.
You certainly have a good sense of humor about this.
You have to, because, Steve, you have to. I mean, we're challenged every day. You never know if you're even waking up in the morning, you know, and being a selectman is different. And it's been real different in recent years because of the way the administration is and their view of selectmen. You know, it becomes, some people have this, it's us against them. We know more than they do. Well, you can't beat the fact that we are government. We are the highest executive authority representing the taxpayers. So if I disagree with the way you're spending my money, I really don't care about what you think, because most of it, I think we only have maybe 2 department heads, 3 that live in the town. Everybody else takes their money and runs back to their hometown. They don't shop in Stoughton. They don't support events in Stoughton. They're paid employees. I'm looking at the person who is a fellow resident. And I've had people complain about rates. You know, oh, water rates went up again. I wish I didn't have to do it. Think of how I feel. Some people may be mad that the water and sewer rates went up, or whatever, the taxes go up. I have the opportunity to vote them down. Don't you think I would vote my taxes down if I could? I mean, so it's tough. And that's what town meeting is. It's tough because we're dealing with, you know, 8 precincts of people that have different education, different financials in their background, different personalities, you know, and then different political views. The moderator has to be the guy that can sift through that and pull out, you know, the good issues out. I mean, if you have a guy and you know a guy who has, in your building experience, if we're talking about building and making an investment in downtown, you're my go-to guy, because I remember when we met in Stoughton Center one time and talked. And
I think you actually went in the dunk tanks at our festival.
oh, I think I raised the most money on that,
Yes,
too.
to
As a
help
matter
out.
of fact, we did a charity, and I went in the dunk tank. It froze. I wanted to spend more time in the water.
Yep.
The water was warmer than the air.
You and
But
the fire and police chief as well, yeah.
yeah,
they're good.
exactly.
They're
And
good.
you know, and I've been so proud, you know, to accomplish what I've done as a selectman. Of course, you know, it's Stoughton. I mean, the rumors are out there. I've done this, I've done that, and I say, listen, any jackass can knock over the barn door. It takes a carpenter to build one. You know, so I can talk about the negative, I can point fingers, but it all comes down to what did you get done. And, you know, I'd rather spend more attention on talking about the moderator's position. I don't need to sit here and brag about what I've done, but I can say to some people that are in office now or running for office, do 1/10 of what I've done over the years and you'll do great. Because it's bigger, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than all of us.
Tell me a little bit about what you know about how, what regulations the state imposes on the moderators.
There's really not a lot, believe it or not. You know, I was really, and this happened a few years back, I threw around the idea of running for deputy moderator. And there was a group of people that didn't want it, and I didn't get the vote. And that's okay, that's fine. And, but there's not, the moderator has a lot of discretion. And there's not a lot there, you know, other than illegal or ethical. You know, it just comes down to, because the article is gonna sink or swim on its own. If it's legal, we'll find that out. Again, when we sit down with the town's attorney, the clerk's office, we'll know if the wording is wrong. The clerk's office has probably already done that research at the beginning, so that it's there, but if people start to change really the sense of what they want to do with the motion, you may make it where the motion isn't worded the way that the body wants to get the job done. I want to make sure that if somebody wants to change it, and it may be meeting with people that are opposed to some of these articles, to say, well, what's your concern with it? So that when you're preparing from the article, again, you can bring a balanced debate there.
So with 50 or 60 articles, it sounds like the kind of preparation that you would have to do might not even be worth the pay.
Oh, it's not. If you're doing this I did 15 years, and in 3 as redevelopment. I've done 18 years without taking a penny from it. You know, Steve, some people are into sports. They watch all the sports games on TV. I'm not into that. You know, some people travel. I can't afford that. You know, I enjoy, this is a part of my life that I started in 1987.
Yeah.
1986, 87. You know, I've been on town meeting on and off over the years. I've been discouraged as well, like a lot of people. That's one of the reasons I'm running, is because I feel I have the tools to contribute on the next day. And on the opening night of town meeting, I believe that I provide the leadership. I have the courage to make the tough decisions. I have the knowledge to bring people together, that I believe town meeting representatives, and bigger than town meeting representatives, the 27,000 people that live in this town and 8,000 homeowners will get the most for their tax dollar. And the issues that affect their tax dollar will get balanced debate, fair and balanced debate.
All right, Joe, I'm going to go to our announcements right now.
Sure.
But before I do, I want you to kind of think about in your head. Let's say I wanted to bring to the town, I want to put a baseball diamond in the square, all right, and for Little League. And I want to put an article up. So I want you to kind of think through, what would you tell me? How would I go about it? Mm-hmm. And just you could show the audience that your grasp of how to run the work or the business of being a moderator.
Sure.
So, all right. So now we'll go to Gina, and I want to say thank you very quickly to Gina Coe. She's out in the back. Mike Hammond has given us a hand. Dave Young on the cameras. And Roy Cohen has organized the community forum from the beginning. So we want to say thank you to all those guys. And Gina, if you want to run some announcements.
Hi, it's Gary LaPierre, and the crew wants to thank Maxie's Delicatessen. That's at 117 Sharon Street in Stoughton. They're 781-341-1662. American Cancer Society. Yes, they're looking for volunteers. Drive cancer patients to and from their treatments. 1-800-ACS-6662. Or just go to www.cancer.org. Ilse Mark's Food Pantry in St. Anthony's Free Market, 2 Park Avenue in Stoughton. For more information, call Christine Gallagher. That's at 781-341-0611 or 781-341-0549. Meals on Wheels. Just ask for Jessica. You'll find her at 781-344-8882, extension 2. Stoughton Penny Saver. Our business is advertising your business, they tell us. 27 Rose Glen Street, Stoughton, 781-344-4833. Community Forum showtimes in Stoughton. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's on Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. All comments and suggestions welcome. Contact us at communityforum1@yahoo.com. Community Forum showtimes in Easton. Mondays at 9 p.m., Tuesday at 8 a.m., Wednesdays 3 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. And that too, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 22. Samaritans, they're at 41 West Street on the 4th floor in Boston, 02111. Their phone number is 617-536-2460. 24-hour helplines for Samaritans, and the number is 877-870-HOPE. That's 877-870-4673. Samaritans, you can find them at 800-252-TEEN. That's 252-8336. Or find them online at SamaritansHope.org.
All right, so before we get back to our guest, Joe Mokrisky, I want to point out that Monday Night Bingo at a Harvest Torah congregation, 1179 Central Street, Stoughton. Doors open at 4:30. Games start at 6:30. Come on down and have a great time with people that are really good-spirited and love the game of bingo. We all have our own show, Get Fresh. It's Stoughton's own cooking show. New episodes are coming soon. Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 28. You can watch Monday at 5:30, just in time for Monday's dinner. You can try something new. Wednesday at 8 p.m., Thursdays 9 a.m., and Friday again 5 p.m. to get your weekend cooking in line. And the Hometown Business Show, Tuesdays at 11 a.m., Wednesdays at 5:30, Thursdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 7. If you'd like to be on our show, you'll be on Comcast 9, Verizon 28. Just send us an email, and we'll get your business right onto our local TV and get some great exposure for you. And now we're back. Joe Mokrisky. If you wanted to get a hold of Joe, ask him some questions, it's jmokrisky@msn.com. You can also give Joe a call, 781-344-8887. All right, we're back here in studio, Joe. So my quick question was, somebody comes to you with a rather odd request on how they'd like to put an article forward, and what do you do with that?
Right, well, you made it easy on the one that you gave for the scenario, put a baseball diamond in downtown Stoughton. It would be a better use of what we're using, but Mass Highway would never let it, so we couldn't even do it. But it's a very simple process. Special town meeting, to call a special town meeting, you need 100 signatures. You would petition for the article, and you would have to work on the wording and get some guidance from the town clerk's office or the Secretary of State's office. Or if it's very simple, is that you want to paint all the fire trucks green, you would say, I want to paint the fire trucks green. You would like it to be a policy and so forth. But it just comes down to, for the annual town meeting, you get a petition for the petitioned article, or you can go to the Board of Selectmen. If it's last minute and you feel that it's something very important, the Board of Selectmen have the authority to put an article on town meeting. But if you didn't like it, or if you don't know the selectmen, or you figure a majority won't support whatever the issue is, you would then just get a petition from the town clerk's office, 10 signatures, and you can petition town meeting directly, and you are the maker of the article. You would come to town meeting, you would speak, you would bring handouts, and your job is to persuade town meeting, who is a legislative branch of the town, that this is good or bad for the community.
All right.
And
So,
it's
Joe,
a very simple process.
I'd like you to just give a final wrap as we close the show.
Great, no, thank you. Well, I'd like to thank you, for having this event. It's good to get the information out to people, and there's definitely, in this race anyway, a difference with the 3 people running for the office. Again, to the voters, I thank you, the voters who have voted for me over the years, and I say 18 years, it's a long time, and I thank you for the trust you've put in me and putting me back into office to be one of your representatives on the Board of Selectmen. I'll remember those years with fond memories and fond fights once in a while. But I look forward to being your moderator. The moderator needs to be objective. He needs to be inclusive. He needs to be prepared. He needs to start meetings on time and get them concluded with as much positive debate to help an article pass, as well as...
All right, Joe, we got to cut you off, though.
Okay. So as your moderator, I have a plan to work on the first night of town meeting, that we will have a handbook started, we will have accountability for department heads, we will have preparation for the articles, and town meeting members, on behalf of the residents of the town, will get information done more efficiently and more thoughtfully.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for watching.